All right, and just like that, we are live just after 11 o'clock on this 29th of March. Good morning and welcome to our Tuesday Central Valley Talk and Artists and Authors. I am Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District studios inside the Mike Briggs building. As always, we thank you for the privilege of your time. We're going to be live and local until right around 4:30 today, so make sure you stay with us. This hour is dedicated, though, to artists and authors, and we are going to bring in our first guest today. We have two guests, actually, joining us live via Zoom. First off, Iris Smith joining us. Hello, Iris. You see her there. And Vincent is with us as well. Vincent, how do you say your last name?
Olmos.
Olmos.
Like Edward James Olmos.
There we go. All right. Well, guys, welcome back. How you doing?
We're doing very well. We're very excited. Things are progressing really nicely for us.
Okay, before we get to all the updates, give a reminder for our viewers on who you are and what you guys are working on.
Okay. My name is Iris Fisher Smith, and I'm author of Never Alone. And the book basically is about the importance of friendship and family and sticking together with God at the center. And I give a lot of history in the book. Dating back to like 1912, when my grandmother was born in England, when the First World War broke out. And I bring it all the way up to date today into my life, and I go through all my family's history. And we correlate world history events around my own. And we're getting, viewers and readers all the time, and listeners, because it's also available on audio, okay? And so basically, the book was published like 2 years ago, and it's continuing to gain in popularity all the time. People write me beautiful letters about how interesting it is and how it correlates with current events. For example, we talked about in the book my grandmother's exile, with the Russian Bolshevik Revolution back in the turn of the century, and how difficult that was. She lost half her family. Their village was raided. Her sister was beaten and thrown in prison. It was very much like you see today with the Ukraine war going on. And so you can see that, I wrote about this in the book. I talked about how history can repeat itself and how we can learn from history. And that's the point of the book, too, is by going through some of this history, being able to learn with current events today. How did people make it back then? Well, I talk about that. I talk about how important, it is not only to stick together during the tough times, but it's important to stick together and laugh together and recreate together and, reminisce about things that were really important to you and share them with the next generation. The book is quite lengthy. It's about 400 pages. There's 130 photos. And what we've done is we've got it now on a website with family, movies, old family movies and photos and everything. And it goes right along with the book. And so that's kind of where we're at. And I just released a second book recently, too. And it's an inspirational book, like a daily reading called Your Daily Journey of Hope.
Vincent, tell me what the update is as far as the film.
So as far as the update goes, we have 12 episodes, each one running about an hour each. And we have 2 more episodes to go. I just finished episode 10. I should have that done within the next month or 2, max. But once we get that going, we do have a producer who's interested in working with us. So once we get all those episodes done and she's done working on the production that she's working on at the moment, we'll get in contact with her, and then we'll move on from there.
Iris, talk a little bit, for our viewers that are going to check this out. Can you kind of walk us through, the first episode? Or Vincent, any of one of you can kind of talk about that more.
Yeah, it's a neat thing because it's an adaptation of the book. And Vincent is doing a beautiful job capturing what I've written and putting it into voiceover. It's going to be a narration, okay? And so he's doing a great job putting it into voiceover and also dialogue from people, and he's able to add emotional moments as well as humorous moments. And he's capturing the story beautifully.
Yeah, Vincent. What has this been like for you, experience wise, and then also kind of thinking of your future as a filmmaker?
Experience wise, this is something I haven't experienced before, especially with the different time era. Iris and I, two different time eras, so it was very difficult for me to kind of understand and grasp the culture and how things were back then compared to now. But she's she's very helpful with the information. She answers any questions I have, or because I'm very particular on getting things historically right, and she is too. And so we go back and forth on that. Future wise, as a writer, I do want to have this as a career, write as a career. And I do want to, eventually write and direct my own films. But I think writing is my stepping stone right now. And I think focusing on writing and getting the story right is the way to go. And then after that, get into the directing route, because you want to have a good story first before you can direct something that's written. Because if a good story is not there, then there's really nothing to direct. It won't be good.
Yeah. One thing that I pay, real close attention to is those 4 F's, right? Family, friends, faith, foundation.
Yeah.
How important is that for you, Iris?
Oh, it's very important, and it comes across in the book. I talk about in the book also how I had a childhood illness where I had a burst appendix, and I actually died for a few moments, and I had to be nursed back to health. I was in, obviously I lived, and I was in a coma for over a month.
Huh.
And so it was my family that inspired me to not only live, but to live well and to be productive. And they taught me the importance of friendship and what that was like, so that we're never alone. There's a Bible verse that I like to think about, and it's also in the book from Ecclesiastes. It says, 2 are better than 1. For when one falls, the other one picks the other one up, and pity the man who is alone. We weren't created to do this life alone. And so friends and family are very, very important to me. And during the course of the whole pandemic, I think it became important to a lot of people. We took for granted being able to get out with people. And that whole time, people are thinking, okay, well, family has to come first now, because you were now isolated with family, which wasn't such a bad thing in some ways, But then when it was time to get out with friends again, I think people had a new appreciation. I know I did, of who their friends were, and being able to get together and hug again, It's that personal touch. I talk about that in the book, how important it is to be able to have that personal touch when you're sick. The computer can't bring you a bowl of soup and comfort you, but a friend can, and they can hold your hand and comfort you, So this is a lot of what the book is talking about as well. And I give examples of what it was like for me growing up as a child, and the incredible mentors and support I had to shape me and mold me into the person I am today. And this is what we want to bring across to teach the next generation some of these tools that they can use, that we use, that worked for us. And this is what we want to bring across in the series, because with 12 episodes, it will be a series, and it'll probably be on television.
Yeah, super, super exciting. Lots to come. Best way for people to start watching this right now?
The best way to watch it, because it's not a series yet, it has to go into production. It's still being written. But right now, they can listen to it on Audible.
Okay.
They can go to my website, which is at irisfsmith.com, and they can listen to the trailer. Also on Audible, there's an example of what the book sounds like. They can go to Amazon and get the book. It's on ebook. It's in a lot of places, like on Barnes and Noble and in all these places. So we're really excited to be able to share it in many ways. But yeah, as soon as it comes out as a series, we will certainly let you know. But I got to tell you, people don't realize how long it takes to make a movie, never mind a series.
Right.
So this is going to be a process.
But again, I mean, but you've already got how many now? 12, right?
Yeah. Well, we have 10 written and
10
we have 2 more to
written.
go. Because the producer was sharing with me that they really, for any kind of a series, they really don't want more than 12 episodes to start.
Right.
And then they see how it goes. And of course, you leave these cliffhangers so that people will watch the next episode. Remember in the old days when you had like Perry Mason or the show Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, and they ended the show with an end.
Yeah.
And you just looked forward to the next show as a brand new, storyline. Right. Well, now what they do on television is different. If you see something like, The Good Doctor is a good example. I love that show. They always
we were just talking about that earlier. How funny you bring that up.
Yeah. And so they leave a cliffhanger at the end that leads into the next show. And so what Vincent and I are writing is just like that. We leave a cliffhanger that goes into episode 2,
right?
Or 3, and so on. And if it takes off and it does well, it'll just continue. It just depends.
Right. Right. Well, this is a very, very exciting time for you guys right now. Vincent, if anybody has any questions for you, best way to follow you, are you on Instagram or?
I do have Instagram. I also have my email. Email most likely the best way to reach me. And it's vincentalmost9@gmail.com. And if they have, questions or comments about, the whole idea or production, they can reach me there.
Perfect. And then Iris, of course, irisfsmith.com, right?
irisfsmith.com. Did you get any photos that I had sent you?
Yes.
We
did, and we've been showcasing them throughout the interview.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, you just can't see it, but yeah, no, it looks really good, and the pictures really that says what this is about. It's about family.
And history.
And
the reason people like the book so much is so many people can relate to. For example, there was a story that I wrote about when President Kennedy was assassinated. And I actually interviewed some relatives that are older that were there, and they told me what it was like. And I was probably 4 at the time, I do remember a little bit of it and how incredibly scary it was.
Yeah.
So, you look at what's going on today, and there's nothing new under the sun. I want to encourage people who are getting fearful. You don't need to be afraid because these things have happened before. And yes, there are bad things that happen, but how do we make it? We make it because we stick together and we pray and have faith and just be strong, Yeah,
no, I absolutely love it. And come back when you have the next update, okay? Because this is so exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. We appreciate it very much.
Our pleasure. Iris and Vincent, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk, and this is Artists and Authors.